group is being buzzing. Thank you so much. Hey, Manisha, good to see you. That's a lovely
Hello, ma'am.
t-shirt.
Thank you.
Nice. ठीक है. So, since we are right on dot 3 o'clock, in our last two sessions, we could not have the Q&A because we were like kind of tied up. So today, if you're having any questions so far, since Manisha is also there, I'm also here, we can definitely have a Q&A discussion since most of the topics are co-related. और कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आया तो वेट मत करना ताकि हम लोग आके पूछे कि आपको समझ में आया कि नहीं. Right? So you remember last week I had joined for Kashish and I gave one tip. Who remembers? Who remembers? Who remembers will get a virtual heart or a chocolate if possible. That's what I can do now. याद नहीं आ रही है? सबने खाना खाया? खाना खाया. क्या खाया?
Yes, ma'am. Roti.
हाँ. किसने बोला वो? राजेश ने. हाँ.
Rajesh.
Thank you, Rajesh. So roti, what is roti?
It's like daily need some.
आधा आंसर तो सही दिया, पूरा तो सही देना चाहिए था ना. Okay. I was saying that instead of seeing the recorded classes, attend the live class, because when you're doing a live class, the trainer not only shares the topics which is already there in the PowerPoint, but your discussions or questions are there, you get to have the knowledge session, right? So that is the return of time invested. So दोनों की टाइम वसूल. आप लोग भी सीख रहे हो और जो भी क्वेश्चंस है that has also been clarified rather than assuming. You all know the spelling of assume? What?
ASSUMUING.
Okay, assuming नहीं, assume. ASSUME.
UME. Yes, ma'am.
ASS के बाद एक स्लैश डालो. U के बाद एक स्लैश डालो. So whenever you're making an assumption or assuming things, you're making an ass of you and me. Okay, so do not assume, but take पूरा पैसा वसूल of रोटी. आपका भी रोटी मिल जाता है और जो ट्रेनर बैठा है हम लोगों का भी रोटी हो जाती है ना मनीषा? बात तो लगी. आई होप यू गाइस हैड योर लंच ताकि मैं रोटी याद दिलाऊं तो भूख नहीं लगा दूं आप लोगों को. ठीक है. Nice. So far what all have we covered, just including Kashish and my topics? Bolo, can we just have 2 minutes of recap? Hi Atat, आपका I've not heard your voice today. So what all have we covered so far?
Me?
हाँ जी.
Okay. Yeah, ma'am, we have covered our talent pipeline and in last class we would have about CRM softwares and ATS softwares and for the sourcing.
ठीक है. Good. Yes, Rajesh, Manisha, I would like Salma to take rest. What about you girls?
Ma'am, branding.
What is branding?
Employee branding, ma'am.
हाँ, तो employee branding क्या है?
It is the company's reputation, shows the employees benefits of.
ठीक है. Nice. Manisha, pick up the
Representing the
keywords.
culture of company.
Yes, right. So whenever anybody asks you, because these learnings, as I said, you have to start fine-tuning with the keywords. Because after these courses, you're going to start applying for a job. And if you're going to say that I learned only recruitment, I only learned branding, but if there are HR like me who really want to test you guys have learned or not, I'll say, अच्छा branding क्या होता है? कैसे करते हो? What are the steps? What is pipeline? How will you put candidates in pipeline? And what are the different various pipelines? All those things we will definitely make sure we get our roti vasool as a recruiter. And we want to make sure that we have the right candidate who is in the company, right? So always picking up and using the keywords, the key phrases are the basic funda of projecting yourself as a professional in any job. And this is what you should also be fine-tuned to hear as a recruiter or as a HR person from the company or from the department or from any individual you're working. तो वो बंदा keywords जानता है तो keywords जानता है तो how in depth maybe if that person is getting spontaneous to speak more than 1 or 2 lines onto it, तसल्ली होनी चाहिए कि yes, that person has some stuff inside, he's just not faking it, right? So your vocabulary when you're answering, your vocabulary also should contain the keywords you have learned. It can even be ratta-marified or even understanding and phrasing it. And then it is what you want to hear others. Simple. Okay, so let's get into our session today. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So today we are going to look into interview techniques. बहुत important चीज है. Because most of us have the first, as a candidate, I'm saying, as a job seeker, the first challenge we all face is landing an interview. So uske liye we use lot of methods. But one thing I want to stress here, never pay somebody to get you a job. There are a lot of fraudsters which are happening, saying in the name that we will train you, we will put you into permanent positions, we will place you. Kindly avoid such until unless things are not in black and white. So even if you as a HR are working, never commit somebody to give money or deposit money and then give them job. So first thing, keeping the law and the ethics of being a HR, no money for getting people join or hiring. Okay, until unless you're doing a third party vendor. What is a third party vendor?
Consultancy service, ma'am. Job
Perfect.
consultancy.
Perfect. A 0.5 for Rajesh. So third party vendor is consultancy vendors who charge the companies for hiring the right candidates, and all they need is the quality of candidate and return of time. That is, once they get the job description JD, within 48 hours to 72 hours is the SLA, service level agreement, where they have to produce candidates without any duplicacy. Okay, so that is what the HR consultancy should be. So interviewing techniques, whether you join a HR consultancy or you are working in an office, should know the basic funda. So many days you learn the pipeline, what is happening in the background, what are the procedures, what is the ideation stage, what is the level, what is different talent acquisition, what is sourcing, in the long run requirement, how the HR plays an important role. So you were learning the crux of HR. Now we are coming step by step slowly from learning from the top to the actual front end situation. That is the facing the candidates. Because here, when we learned about employee branding, like Salma rightly said, and Rajesh also said, it is about the company's reputation. And you being a HR, doing an interview in an unprofessional manner, gaya pura bas pani mein. Right? So the whole branding, the strategy work, the infrastructure, the environment, the advertisement, the kind of things that you portray in the market and the social media and everywhere else, being a HR, if you do not know the right interview technique, including the recruiter's grooming, your appearance, how you dress, your body language, पान वान खा के जो पान का स्टेन के साथ मैं नहीं आ सकती हूँ, HR interview लेने के लिए, even if I'm sitting in my home and I'm doing a virtual recruitment, I should be presentable. At least what is in that 2x2 screen, right? So all those things matter a lot. And we foresee when it comes to the actual presentation and communication with the audience. तो यहाँ पे हमारे audience हुए कौन?
Job seekers.
Who's our audience? Perfect. Job seekers and also internal clients. So here we will be having two clients, that is external is a job seeker, internal will be our internal team of finance, marketing and other teams, just to know that. Okay? So let's step into it. Write down your concept maps. Hope you all remember the concept maps topic, HR training in that interview techniques. Under that, what all have been written down? Mind mapping, concept mapping are perfect. There are a lot of mind mapping tools which are free of cost, and you can keep expanding for every single subject you're taking up here and create your own brochure. Okay? They're absolutely free. So far, on our week 1, we have completed what is introduction to recruitment. What is recruitment? What is sourcing? What is talent acquisition? What are the fine lines? How we are placed? What is the difference? Who all are involved? Right? If somebody wants, if Rajesh has his own company, but Kashish has her own company, what are the things needed? How you outsource? All those things we saw in introduction to recruitment. Then sourcing and employer branding. Last week was all about how do you identify the right resources? What are the tools you resource? What are the platforms you get into? Free platforms, paid platforms, vendor management, ATS selections, user-friendly selections based on the job description you're doing. For IT, normally it is Naukri. For non-IT management, BPO and other things, Monster, Shine.com. And there are a lot of Kamkida.com. Also, they are one of the new latest ATS platforms. And it is free. If you are a recruiter, you want to learn, you can definitely register in Kamkida.com. And you can try how as a recruiter, the maneuvering is, how you put the JD and all. So there are a lot of user-friendly ATS platforms for recruiters, freelancers, and corporate companies. You can look into how the branding is, how it would look from a job seeker perspective. As a HR, what are the details you need to enter? Explore कर सकते हो. Okay, the lot of ATS you can actually search, ask ChatGPT to list down all the free ATS platforms. As a freelance recruiter, I can browse through. Okay, so today we are going to look into interview techniques. So in interview techniques, we are going to look into designing structured interviews, crafting effective interview questions, and evaluation criteria. Ultimately, the right candidate, right timing, right salary package negotiation, and the ability to understand if out of 1:5, what was the ratio earlier we spoke? At least 1:5 or 1:10. Okay, so right now you get for IT 1:20. Agar if you're looking for one app developer with basic what do you say? I even forgot your technology terms. For if you're going for one Android app developers and with 3 to 4 years experience, you'll get at least 10 to 15. Few with UI UX experience, few with database, Oracle, SQL, interface, backend, all those kind of features. इतने सारे लोग तो आ गए. How do I interview? What is the right skills or their exposure that will match our project? To understand that, we have to design and structure our interviews in such a way it helps us identify and shortlist the best candidate. Clear? Any questions?
No.
Perfect. No. ठीक है. Thank you, Tat. So here Yathat stands. And he's into his first, I don't know why when I saw this, I was remembering Yathat yesterday when I created this PowerPoint. Okay, all decked up and that has a Rajesh kind of look. So designing structured interview ensures there is fairness and consistency in hiring. Because we are one department where we cannot be biased. No religion, no caste, nothing but the right qualification, experience, attitude, behavior. A human being, whether it's a girl or a male, no matter what skin, what race, nothing. It is a complete gender-free bias, and we have to be fairness. In order to achieve this goal, which is one of the key points of every company's mission and vision statement. If you are working with a company which is only gender biased, like herkey.com, then you will have to prepare question and answers which is relevant to women, can be related to their periods, which is their latest law, that they can take a leave, maternity issues, are they coming from career break, are they coming from their, after pregnancy, second children, third children. In fact, now there are few companies even considering women who are single parents. Okay, so where they can bring their children on a Fridays so they can work or have their me time. So companies are becoming more flexible. Based on that, structure your interviews, set of questions which is helping you to identify the right candidate, not just for the looks, but also understand their health benefits and things. Key benefits, fairness. Every candidate receives the same treatment. चाहे वो अंबानी का बेटी हो या कोई भी हो, maybe yes, we would be more friendly and nicer, so that we can say, hey, मैं अंबानी की बेटी के साथ रिश्तेदार हूँ. But in a corporate profession, everything is equal. Then what kind of interview method? Thanks to COVID, अभी बहुत सारे interviews telephonic और Zoom में हो जाता है, even if you're from the same city, right? They are like, okay, because roti उनको भी आना चाहिए. They are also considering the return of time invested by the HR. So for 10-15 minutes is done. They are okay with the interview process and they're good. So identify what kind of method or interview you're going to take: telephonic, online, face-to-face, that is Zoom, Gmeet, or Telegram, or Telegram, and also we have Teams. So Teams is something which is coming up right now. If you're not familiar, please download Microsoft Teams. You can use the web version or app. Many of them find it difficult, but try to explore. There are a lot of YouTube videos which helps you to practice Microsoft Teams. And then, of course, the traditional face-to-face interview. ये बता, फेस टू फेस इंटरव्यू में वी आर अवेयर कि कितना राउंड होगा. तो पहले इंटरव्यू के लिए पीपल कॉल, मैम कितना राउंड रहेगा, 1 राउंड रहेगा, 2 राउंड रहेगा, मुझे एक ही दिन में हो जाएगा, अगले दिन आना है, मुझे छुट्टी लेना है. All those questions as a candidate we will pop up. So you should be ready to say yes. The interview panel, Kashish and Prashant or whoever it is there, they are the interview panel. They are available at this time. So once your round 1 is over, you clear, you get 10-20-15 minutes, you get the interview. Then you're into stage 2. We are done on the same day. Yeah, we have allocated each day. Machine round, technical के लिए machine round होना चाहिए. You need to bring your laptop, or we give aptitude. So different methods of interview and how many rounds are there. So when the person is on telephonic or online, only 1 to 2 round is completed. That is their online technical training or basic round of introduction. And when they come face to face, it is usually advised to have their documentation, background check, and references done. Group discussion, which most of us miss. Group discussion में क्या होता है? क्या होता है group discussions पे?
Usually,
We give the topic and we need to speak on that.
Perfect. Why do we need group discussions?
To shortlist the perfect candidates, maybe based on their communication skills or something, their confidence.
Perfect. So not only we understand a person, as a HR, first 5 minutes is more than enough for you to analyze the person's grooming, the dressing, the body language, the shoe, and how they are patiently sitting in the waiting room. So, the CCT is not just to see their misuse or not, but as a HR, definitely have that key eye for identifying these even when they are waiting before the interview. Then after the one-to-one discussions happen, you can start having their mindset thinking, right? As Kashi said, the communication. There was one client where we had to hire people for BPO, of course. It was a domestic BPO, सब लोग हिंदी में hire करना था. The consultancies only asked 2 questions. You know Hindi? You know English? Read, write? Yes. You're a graduate? Yes. Okay. Go. Selected for the interview. This day you have to go to the client interview. And you're sitting at the panel. We said, okay, let's have a group discussion just to check. Please talk about your school या फिर about your previous experience. हाँ मैम, मैं बोल रहा हूँ ना मैम, मैं इतना देर लॉग इन कर रहा था, उन्हें हमें ब्रेक नहीं ले रहा है. I was like, okay, ठीक है, very nice, हाँ जी, perfect, everything perfect. He was very good looking. Also, he was very good looking. We had people from different, sectors. It was in Hyderabad. So unfortunately, as recruiters, we forget the geographical locations and the MTI slangs. We haven't, even if it is a Hindi speaking. बेचारा उसका तो कोई दोष नहीं था. He was from Hyderabad area where most of them used Urdu slang. And he knew Hindi to read, right? And he's got even scores in his Hindi. So he matches and meets the expectations perfect. But जब उसने मुंह खोला, I was like wondering, hey Ram, मेरा clients का क्या होगा? Okay, so when you're doing a group discussion, it is one of the key aspects. Have a visible understanding for their MTI slangs. Or like Maharashtra people, apun. They use Mumbai apun. Apun bolna hai na, tumko sunna hai kya ki nahi? And then Haryanvi people have they speak through the nose. Ma'am, हम हरियाणवी के हैं, हमें sorry नहीं आती है. हम लोग सॉरी नहीं बोलते हैं मैम, हम लड़कियों के नीचे काम नहीं करते मैम. We have found, these I'm sharing my personal experiences when we do recruitment for BPOs. Because we need mass numbers, and just because we need mass numbers, we tend to miss out the importance of individual handpick candidates. Because when you're doing a BPO recruitment, it is 500-600 per month. 500-600 people for different branches. So, and that is the time you need to know aptitude चाहिए कि नहीं इन लोगों को, हिंदी आती है कि नहीं, typing speed is needed, words per minute, whether we need to create an online test, whether the company has invested a questionnaires. In fact, now many of the companies along with your ATS platform are coming up with inbuilt questionnaires. अगर नहीं आती है तो you can make surveymonkey.com, googleform.com. You can create your own questionnaires based on the jobs you wanted candidates to attend. If the company does not have, you can create your own, right? So these are the few things no books will tell. You have to learn on your own. Use your kidneys. Okay, I mean, use your thought and mindful and explore. These things usually, as a fresher, even I didn't know. Okay, when I was first put into HR recruitment, I was like, हाँ, सब लोग अच्छे हैं. Everybody is good. This person dressed well, he's good. This person speaks well, he smiles well, he's very nice, she's very nice, well-groomed, hire. But as experience goes, as you speak to people in the relevant industry, their pain areas, attend workshops like Hubs to Valley is doing, getting a self-certification, different platforms, understanding the pain points of recruitment and training and interviews, which you want to be a specialized person. So by now you'd have understood there's lots of HR training. Whether you want to be a specialist in sourcing, whether you want to be a specialist in forecast, business analyst, who can even identify when is the next recruitment cycle going to come. That is with the talent acquisition. So you need to have a key detail and understand what is your personality, how your education, your experiences, and your learning can place you. If you have not played chess, it's a right time to start playing and see how you can move your own job pawns. Okay? Then consistency. it has to have a set of follow-up. First is the basic telephonic interview, then online face-to-face, then a test, and then the HR background verifications for fraud and other things, then the offer letter. So it has to be a process which does not break, because anything without a process or a system in place, whether it's your own business or whether you're working under somebody else, without a proper process and system, nahi chalti hai. Okay, everything has to have a systematic way. Elimination of bias. Again, there are few companies who do not even take, unfortunately, the twin gender, that is the male and female genders. They avoid them even now, and they specifically mention that. So be clear if you're not tolerating a particular gender or a particular kind of segment. Be upfront and inform in the job description, so there is no wrong feelings for the candidate or for us. We are not put in an awkward moment. We get a lot of people like that. Unfortunately, I don't know why God has his different plans and he puts us in such kind of things. So being a HR, you will meet different level, different hatke thinking people also. So enjoy the journey. And predictive validity. So we can identify if the person is a job hopper. Last time बात किया था ना, job hopper है कि नहीं, as the person keeps talking, what is his importance, money is his importance, growth, what is that you see in your next 5 years, the regular questions. And now people are so creative with like, oh ma'am, come ma'am, I see myself as a CEO, I see myself as someone at the top ma'am, बस काम सेट हो जाए मैम. अरे भाई काम सेट होने के बाद क्या करना चाहते हो, थोड़ी बहुत आइडिया है कि नहीं. So that people are not aware. There are a lot of still young kids, बस काम चाहिए. काम आने के बाद कुछ माइंडसेट, कौन सा डिपार्टमेंट जाना है, कैसे ग्रो करना है, क्या फैसिलिटेट करना है. So if the candidate has such thinking, we saw the passive and we saw the active candidates. So try to look into the active and passive candidates, identifying them. And it comes only through experience. People are too good to fabricate things, and thanks to ChatGPT and different AIs, कि उनका resume से लेके scripted words भी आसानी से मिल जाती है. Right? Clear? Any doubts on this?
No, ma'am.
So either I am too good
No, ma'am.
और या फिर कुछ भी नहीं किया. हाँ, no आया. Yes. No doubt? Any doubt? Any question? ठीक है. Okay. I don't know, Kashish, in the tests, you should tell me how they are performing. Now they are all are saying yes, yes. ठीक है, चलो. So the second phase of why we have to identify the interview and the details aligned, because it helps us in designing different things and be prepared as recruiters. We cannot fumble. अगर कुछ भी करने से पहले हम लोग 2 मिनट के लिए प्रैक्टिस करते हैं ना, so same way is for HRs also. How we have to ask, how our tone should be, how friendly, how we can make the other person feel comfortable. Because when a candidate comes for an interview, the genuine ones are really sometimes nervous. So make them feel calm. Environment ko dekho, a proper room. If the AC not to be too high, we forget the environment. And sometimes the candidates who are very nervous also can break down and may not do his potential. So make sure that you identify the skills, make them feel calm, they are okay, relaxed. Take 1 to 2 minutes breathing, which we call as observing the energy. Okay, when you observe their energy, you get to know if they're calm and they're confident. Then start with the job analysis. Very simple. Like we had the initial days of introduction. I said, hi Salma, what are you doing? Hi Rajesh, what do you do? Are you guys all in students? Are you there? A general human to human conversation. Our HR do not have that ego that you're the person who's going to hire them, but be that simplified person who's going to look the best out of that person, identify if he's the right fit, and also analyze if he's a threat for the company, like a job seeker, job hopper, or person who is only coming for time pass. Because now many of the people are joining only for 2-3 months. घर में बैठा हूं मैम, इंटर्नशिप नहीं मिला तो बस 2-3 महीने सैलरी के लिए आया हूं. We get people who actually say us that. Okay, and that's where the company ends up with an attrition rate of 25 to 30% per month. And that is seen an increase in recruitment industry in the last 2 to 3 years. Earlier, a very healthy company used to have an attrition rate of only 5 to 10% per annum. But thanks to after COVID, it is 25 to 30 per month. So इसके बदले हर महीने 10, 20, 11 लोगों का हायरिंग होता रहता है and people keep leaving the moment they get their confirmation या फिर उनका salary hike in 6 months, 7 months. So we have to avoid this because it is an expense for the company. है ना? बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. So this is something that the company is really wasting on. Training expenses होता है, उनका recruitment होता है. All those things we can avoid. So make sure you start by understanding the skills and qualities, the knowledge, the competencies needed for the role. तो जैसे last time मैंने बताया, Rajesh has his business, right? The business. What was the business, Rajesh? We were talking last year. Software industry, and he does app development. App development to basic, we need someone who knows Android, difference in Android, iOS, and who can handle the UI UX, that is the features, front end features, app के icon कैसे रहना चाहिए, कैसे use कर सकते हैं, psychology of colors, icons, combinations, बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. So does that candidate have the knowledge? हटके वाला thinking है? He can at least be a person who follows orders or is innovative by seeing his previous experiences and the reason why he has quit the previous job. That is very important. And has he followed the notice period? Hope all are aware of notice period. है ना? Yeah, okay, great.
Yes.
So if you're sometimes the notice period can be 30 days to 90 days based on each one's company. So at the time of your hiring itself, they will let you know. So there are many candidates who will just leave the job even they don't pay or buy back their notice periods, and they expect the company to hire to do the buyback. So be watchful of such candidates who are job hoppers. Okay, so you will get to know the trend by the moment, the reason they give and how they are leaving it. And also your interview questions should be targeted using the psychology. There are ample of psychology questions which you can actually ask ChatGPT to list down to identify the intention of the candidate joining the job. Like how long you were there, what is the stability, why did you leave, how many team members did you handle, what was the project, how did you handle extra hours of working, what is the technology growth you did, what is the certification you did, what kind of personality, how many friends you have, references. So these are something that you have to have as a spontaneous, and also something should be like a rapid fire round which lets him be himself. Okay, because people usually come with a lot of preparation that they want to crack the HR and get into the job. So be aware of those and use the rating scales. So when you're creating your own Google Forms, you can have a rating self-analysis. You know how your questionnaire should be set. Like, for example, you have 100 questions. In that, what is the percentage should be about self-analysis, technical-wise, growth-wise, where you can break down and have them randomly set up. So these things can be done manually, and you have the answers also there ready if possible with ChatGPT. Okay, and clearly refine the rating and let the person who's taking the test be aware he's been monitored. And tell him to आराम से take the time कि भैया कुछ हरी नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं बोलना कि हम लोग we hurried you and you did not do. So many people say नहीं मुझे पता नहीं था, this I had to finish in 1 hour. I didn't know, I took time, etc. They will tell all reasons. And it should be real world examples when you do the job description, GDs, that is the group discussions. So when you're doing the group discussions, we as HR should know the nature of job, the the requirement, the skill set, people management. How do you handle if somebody is leaving? How do you handle if a team member has lost a family? उनके साथ empathy क्या होता है? Sympathy क्या होता है? What is the leadership quality? How do you take the blame? If the team is not performing, how did you manage? When there was layoff, how did you communicate? So these are the few interview questions you should have in the real time. अगर आपको खुद as a HR, if you're not aware, you will end up hiring someone who sounds very professional. Okay, so this is where your logical thinking, your experience, your analysis, your learning, and your understanding of the industry comes. Okay, so make sure that you're using the problem solving technique. Was that person confident enough? Was their behavioral attitude good? How he told? Because यहाँ पे क्या होता है ना, especially when you're hiring the project manager roles, people who normally put blame on others. Okay, like the team was not good, the team didn't do, the manager did not support. अरे भाई बाकी उन लोगों का गलती तो आपकी कोई गलती नहीं थी क्या? Right? So someone who's a blame game person, it's a alarm sign for you that this guy is going to do the same thing with your company. So you can actually make a note of it. Okay. And whenever you're having an interview questions, I do personally see if it helps. I do ask about the family background, like mother, father, are there siblings, yeah, financial status, is the family depending on their finance? What do they do? Because this helps you to mold, even if the candidate is not aware, it helps you to mold and pay attention so that they can be a better person. Like there are, after COVID, sadly, we have a lot of youngsters who completed the degree, somewhere 3 instead of 5 years after 7 years, and who have lost one of their parent, and who are like, parents lost their job and they are into grocery stores and other things. These are the desperate ones who can be molded. Okay, have that human eye, even with your intuitive thoughts, to understand what is the status. You will definitely find genuine people who want to grow with the company. उनको पता भी नहीं चलता है क्या करना है, कैसे करना है. So as a HR person, not only in the appraisal season, but also in general, you can meet up with them maybe over a lunch, or you meet at the cafeteria and start grooming them to grow with the company. कि कंपनी में ये सर्टिफिकेशन करोगे तो अच्छा रहोगे. So this builds your rapport and shows your branding. Who Salma is, who Yatharth is, who Rajesh is. So even if you are starting your company or you're growing from one company to other, people will follow you. Okay, so this is something on personal branding, interpersonal skills, and it helps you in identifying the right candidate, aligned, designing the interview and the roles required. And also the technical. Now again, for this example, project manager, basic to unko Excel aani chahiye, reporting system aani chahiye. So if these things are missing in the JD, in the job description, make sure that you have an extra eye for it. Okay. Then the best practices for implementing structured interviews. So this is what the best practices, and you as a recruiter will stand apart. Train your interviewers, which we are doing, how to ask your questions. And on this, trust me, your voice modulation, communication as a recruiter plays an important role. You are the brand and face of the company. If you are not professional, if you are not serious in the job you're doing, nobody will. Okay, so how to ask the question, your voice modulation, your professionalism, dressing, grooming, and the rating scales. That is identifying different questionnaires. What flow you starting from tell me about yourself, the technical experiences, how you handle this, and then getting into detail of the role for which he's been called for. Rather than saying pura Ram kahani apne bare mein batao, we are actually channelizing our discussion to 15-20 minutes and having the 10 to 15 questions approximately, so that we are getting the best out of the candidate. And make note of it. Trust me, it helps. Okay. Then creating the candidate friendly experience. Make sure the candidate is understandable, candidate को हमारी भाषा समझ में आती है, and we are clear. I'm sure all are curious about what is this KISS. Okay, this is one of the communication methods. Whenever you're asking any questions, any department, any interviews, anything, keep it simple and short. Cases, keep it simple and short. Very clear articulation of your words, very clear questioning. Tone should not be authoritative. This is what a humble recruiter and a sourcing person is. Okay, the person will remember you. So that makes a difference. Then feedback. Even if the candidate has not cleared or if he has cleared, take a feedback. अपना सिर्फ appraisal ही हम लोगों का feedback नहीं होता है. Get a feedback from every candidate who comes in. How did you feel? Was the atmosphere comfortable? Were you feeling good? Anything else that you feel you want to change? It helps. Okay, when I was first working in a very small, we started in a garage way back in 2002. That was my first recruitment job. And in a garage, we had only 2 desktops. And whenever we interviewed, Praveen was my, boss. He was like, ask the candidate how the experience was. And we even made sure that the garage was decorated well whenever we had the walk-in to happen. People had to literally wait outside. And it grew, God's grace. It grew from a garage from 2 desktop systems to almost 50 people working there. And after that, we moved on. So every single feedback is a stone thrown at you, whether it's an organization level or in the interpersonal level, to build yourself. And be aware of the recruitment strategies. Again, that goes back into how you network, how aware you are using LinkedIn, using Google, ChatGPT. And as I said, you have Book My Show, allevents.com, you have Events High and Meetups. These are different apps on phone. You can go and attend free meetings. You have industry level people happening in your areas. I do that. So I love to meet people. So I do on weekends, I do love to meet with CEOs, directors, people on the innovative side. If you have money, join in for lunch, or you want to go for a paid ticket, you can do that, or just meet, greet, hi, treat, and network and come back. The choice is yours, but stay updated. Because if you're not updated in the HR industry, things don't move. Legal consideration, like POSH is a mandatory. If, as you are getting into the recruitment and HR, whenever you hire 5 to 10 people per month, the company is entitled to run a POSH awareness. So that is one of the legal compliances, even if you are a professional tax certified company. So if they don't do, you are questionable in case something goes wrong. You need not have an internal committee that is an IC of POSH regulations, but you can just run the awareness programs. It can be for your white collar, blue collar, chai wala, vendors, anybody. Okay? Make sure that you are aware POSH is mandatory and the compliances are taken care. Whom to contact numbers, emergency numbers to be shared with your immediate hiring and yourself. Clear? Any questions? Or you want to share something that of your experiences that I might have missed out? Anything
Ma'am,
on
about
this?
the POSH something, I missed something. Okay,
POSH is
yeah.
a sexual harassment compliance, Rajesh. Under the company legal consideration, under the company policy and registration, India government, it is a mandatory. Any company hiring people like 10 to 15 people. I think minimum it is 10. So if they're hiring 10 people every month, they have to conduct a POSH awareness workshop. So POSH has 2 things. One, they can have someone as internal committee member who handles the cases, who will be like your, legal person in the office. So if you have any problem from the company side, you can go complain them about the sexual harassment. So sexual harassment is not only by physical harassment, but people even teasing you, kind of looking down on you. And as I said, I don't know if I've told you, everybody have a personal space. Are you aware? I told you, right? Huh? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
So everybody has a personal space. So everybody's personal space is your arm length. ठीक है दिखाई दे रहा है right? So if a person is closer to your body than your arm length, and if you feel threatened with the CCT recording, you can definitely go lodge a complaint even before that person takes a physical assault on you. And sadly, it is only for women. I hope men also get soon, because there are men who are assaulted in the corporate sections. But let's keep our fingers crossed. We don't have those days. All right. So you can look for POSH Act. So there are a lot of awareness trainings also where you can be a POSH awareness trainer. As a HR, it is an added value. You can definitely take up and be one of those compliance person and conduct the training in your regional languages. So I do it on Kannada, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, which I know the regional languages, and it's much more effective to reach the people who are actually working. ठीक है?
Yes,
Clear?
ma'am. Thank you very much.
You're
Yes,
welcome, Rajesh. Arey, IT company ka owner ho. You should be knowing that. God's grace. Stay blessed. Hope you start your own. So now you're almost coming to the third point. Crafting effective interview questions. Evaluation criteria. Because here we are getting to the dot. We are pinpointing what we want to know. The questions, the keywords, assess them technical wise, assess them logical wise, empathy wise, and behavior competencies. Behavior can also be understood through this 2x2 screen, not only face to face. And your criteria, how you design your questions, should have standard. You cannot use the old method which were used 10-15 years back. Right? So you cannot only rely on those, but can have a mix match with proven records based on the industry you are. You cannot have the same interview questions you do for an IT company and follow the same procedure for a manufacturing company. Because manufacturing company, you will be working with people who are just hardly 8th, 9th standard, regional languages. उनको तो आप ड्रेसिंग ग्रूमिंग के बारे में ज्यादा आप एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर सकते. Though you can expect, but your standard and your expectations will differ. So you cannot follow the rigid method of one size fits all. Based on the industry, based on the company, based on the designation, based on the level of proficiency, your questioning, your evaluation method, techniques should vary. Okay? No one size fits all. No, definitely not. That will be a major blunder we're going to do. नहीं तो बाद में we'll have all car drivers and other people taking calls and they're like, "Hey, जल्दी आओ यार, कितना देर करता है, hold procedure तो गया बाढ़ में." I mean, getting this whole procedure because I'm training the BPO. Okay, so he was like, "अच्छा, अच्छा, ठीक है, hold पे रुको, हाँ, hold पे रुको." That's a conversation. He was literally talking for an insurance company. I was like, भैया क्या बोल रहे हो? He's like, नहीं मैम, मैंने उसको hold पे बोलना है, रुकने के लिए बोला है. Like, hold डालो फिर. He's like, नहीं वो hold पे है. So you have to have the right candidate doing the right kind of a job. Okay? And you cannot have an ethical, same thing. We had another candidate who was ethical hacking certified, and that kid they've hired for taking calls for an insurance company. कहाँ technology और कहाँ ये आके क्या करेगा? And he says, I didn't get job, so I joined here. And hardly as we predicted, 25 to 30 days, he could not stay there. He quit. So he got his 25 to 30 days of salary, and he said some reason of health or something he put, and he went off. So people, HR should not get desperate to hire anyone and everyone. Okay. The whole concept is you've done so much of hard work in branding, identifying, building the company, building the team and everything. If this thing is not in process, it is a leaking cover. It will drain your energy, your time, and the company's money. Okay? So keep yourself updated on latest ATS platforms. As I said, LinkedIn is the best. The auto hire, kamkeda.com, Otterbox. So there are a lot of ATS platforms which just come like Google आपका Chrome है ना, Chrome extension जैसे आ जाते हैं. If you've seen ChatGPT also has that brain kind of icon which is an extension which does your WordPress spelling and all. So now ATS platforms are also coming with just your Chrome extension. So if you want to learn more about ATS platforms, just on LinkedIn, go ahead and put a post saying that, hey, I do beta testing for your ATS, I'm a recruiter. People will automatically come and they will let you do a trial as a recruiter. Yeah, in fact, you get paid for being beta testers as a recruiter for ATS platforms. You do get paid, and many of the recruiters whom we train, we encourage them to identify different ATS platforms based on your style of recruitment. If I'm someone who's hiring for Ireland, we are working on a project for Ireland for architects, that is interior designers. उसको तुम्हें यहाँ shine.com SMS पे नहीं मिलेगा. बंदा तो Indeed में बैठा होगा या फिर reference के साथ ही होगा. He'll be one of the passive job seekers. So your style of recruitment also matters. Visa processing, उसको वो language पता रहना चाहिए, and all those things matters. So don't only look for Indian but also abroad hiring. Keep yourself updated. Clear? Perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So then is the crafting effective interview questions. Techniques or developing targeted interview questions. Technical, आपको पहले पता होना चाहिए technical क्या है. अगर आपको खुद पता नहीं है तो क्या पूछोगे? आप ही रट्टा मार के पूछोगे ना. हाँ, अच्छा रुको, हाँ, आंसर सही है, हाँ, ठीक है. The olden days, the English grammar teachers used to literally correct your books. We will end up being that. So try to understand that you craft questions on the skill required very specifically. If you're going for Rajesh's company, he's looking for an Android app developer, and specifically he wants to do something related to GPS tracking. We need someone who knows Google GPS tracking, who has worked with Google products, who knows with wireless networks, who knows how the satellite connection happens, the data transmission happens. So you have to be very particular about the technical knowledge. Thoda research karo. What are the latest things happening? And then be specific and frame your questions accordingly so that this person whom you're looking for in the CV is aware and he does. Time, describe the time you solved, how long it takes. Technical bandon ko hackathons when we do. In fact, many of the companies when we hire for Cognizant, Wipro and all, we conduct hackathons in the college level. Right? Last time Salma said that we do campus recruitments. How do we hire? We do hackathons. In that, the time, how quick a person is able to create a code to crack a particular software or do a particular thing. Time, technology, efficiency, quality. And if he's doing single-handedly or teamwork. So these are the few things. It will help you. Culture fit. Region. If the person is irrespective of any religion, his behavior, his patterns, his leave, someone who would take leave in the Christmas, New Year season, if he's a Christian, someone who would go for a Thanksgiving, which is important for them because throughout the year, they don't have much functions. So how the leave patterns would be, how his family would be, that is, if he's someone from abroad, will that culture fit? Because most of the people who are settling in India after Zoho came, if you've seen the trend is many people from abroad are settling in India, especially IT companies, and they're going to rural India. वो लोग city पे भी नहीं बैठ रहे हैं. So thanks to Zoho, they have brought a new trend in having the quality people in rural India under rural development concept. So make sure that the cultural fit is there. Work environment is perfect for them. है ना? वो सब आपको देखना पड़ेगा. How we approach teamwork. So these examples of few things that you can, how they handled in practical level, because US environment is different, Indian environment is different, the culture and behavior competency based questions. I will come to this point. Hold on, because there are a lot of different segments where you can divide your questionnaires. I have made a list of that. This is my favorite. STAR method. So first rule as a recruiter, make sure that you understand with the talent acquisition, and the departments. Situation-based, task-based, what is their action, that is roles and responsibilities, and what is the ultimate result. Because not only the technical guy should be sound technically, he should be a team manager, team player, somebody who's an empathetic person, who has a listening eye, who can work with people. Because many of the technical guys, okay, I've seen are solo players. उनको टीम में नहीं जमता है. And we have found them actually working as a single man race. So identify what kind of a personality they are. Few of us, Kashish would agree, few of us even do psychometric assessments. That is to do their mind mapping, the SWOT analysis. Though many companies do not follow now, but still people like Rajiv Talreja and other business magnates who do employee and business coaching still follow the AI SWOT analysis or mind mapping. It helps you to understand the hidden aspects of your mind. सब लोगों को आइसबर्ग पता है ना? पता है? Do we see everything of the iceberg?
No.
No. How much do we see? Approximate.
20%, I guess 20% we see and 80% is true.
That's a huge one, Kashish. काश हम लोग ये 20% देख सकते.
Excuse me, good afternoon.
So
ma'am.
even if you know a person for a year, okay, you only tend to understand 10% of them.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Kashish this side. Actually, I'm really sorry to disturb you in between.
No problem, Kashish. Yes,
Yeah,
please tell
so
me.
actually we have to bind it till 4 because we have next session. So
अच्छा,
I'm really
ठीक है.
sorry for interruption.
ठीक है, thanks for the timer. I'll just wrap it up fast. Thanks.
Okay.
So the iceberg, I'll just quickly, since I started it, it's only 10% what you understand from the behavioral aspect, and the rest 90% comes on situation based, panic, and how they've handled different scenarios in their life. Okay, and to make sure that, again, experience counts, so watch out for that. Okay, so make sure that whenever you're hiring or formulating your JD, use the STAR method: situation, task, action, and result oriented. And make it KISS. Keep it simple, sweet, and short. No jargons, no extra words. Very, very open-ended. Okay, जहाँ पे the person opens up to talk. Right? Then is the evaluation criteria. I'm just going to go ahead and finish up and we are going to get this PPT. So creating evaluation, define the competency, outline the skills. If the technical proficiency has to be majority, your questionnaire should have 60 to 70% of technical proficiency. Then prioritize on technical. Problem solving can be aptitude, can be scenario based, can be time or anything. Teamwork के बारे में आप 10-20 questions ले सकते हो. 10 on adaptability. If they have to go for different company, how they will behave, how they will go, etc. Scorecards. That is rating out of 1 to 5. How do you rate yourself? How was you experience this? What would you do? All those ratings, get objective and use the scorecards. And this can be done online. Paperwork is everything can be done digitally. Then real world application. That is after interview, the score candidates must be based on the discuss differences and also make sure that your decision is not only on the score but also what you discuss one-to-one with them. Okay? So this is the last slide, which I want you all to actually write it down. These are the different questions or the segregations you can create your own interview questions. Behavioral pattern, situation based, competency based, technical questions, general knowledge, GK होना चाहिए उस बंदे को. How does an industry work, the payment, etc. Culture fit, is he really good for a South Indian culture, Western culture, Indian culture, religious, different places, how he handles stress, and how maybe a role play, group discussion, simulation, scenario based discussion, project, self-assessment, the whole world is in your hand. Get as creative as you can and start building your questionnaires. ठीक है? So this is what we have, summary of our designing. Go ahead with the assignment and submit it by next week. Definitely, I'll start collecting everybody on, the group, the details. Any questions, please feel free to connect with us. The questionnaire has, as usual, has two. I think let me open up. I think I'll share it in the group. Okay, since we are already two, I got a message. Chalo, I'll share the assessment. Any questions? I'm there. The group also, just pop up, write down. Please do not have with no questions. कुछ तो कुछ होना चाहिए. ठीक है? नहीं तो OHT हो जाता है, ओवरहेड ट्रांसमिशन. OHT में ना अंदर जाता है ना बाहर जाता है. ठीक है? चलो. See you all till next week. Have a good time. Take care.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
You have a great week.
You too. Take care and happy Dasra, guys. Take care.